Hello and welcome everybody to this week's vlog. So today's reading exhibit is I've now just finished Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and oh my gosh, it was a real page turner. And what I liked about this thriller is that you didn't really know what happened and how it happened until like the last like 15 pages, which like never happens. And that's my big thing with thrillers, is that I find that sometimes they reveal it too soon, and there's just so many pages afterwards where it just becomes fluff, where it's just you didn't really know what happened and how the murder took place until the very end, and I don't want to give the ending like away, but you never really knew like if it was like how it was done or like who done it. Like you had your suspicions, but like I never really expected that it was going to be the person that it was. I basically read this in 2 sittings. It was just really well done, really well constructed. I would highly recommend this. This does leave me more intrigued to try out more of her books, so yay! Oh my gosh, but I have stayed up a little bit too late to kind of finish the book because I was on a little bit of a kick, so you know, there is that. But I'm so happy I got this and I made it my book of the month book, you know, so just thumbs up for it. I would highly recommend it, and it is kind of written in podcast form where it like there's the story, but then it'll jump to where like the podcast and the interviews that do take place and how they are constructed. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Thumbs up. Alright, thank you. Hello and welcome to this reading debate. I have just decided that the next book I'm going to read is Heartless Hunters. I looked it up and I'm not too sure when book 2 comes out, but I've read like, you know, a couple chapters so far and I like it. And yeah, so it's just a cute little kind of like frenemies, like enemies to lovers, as long as he doesn't find out that she is the witch that he is looking for, you know? So I'm sure it's going to be a great little book, and it's a little bit longer than what I was thinking or hoping it wanted to be, but you know, my mood says that Heartless Hunter is the book than which I want to be reading, so that is the book I'm reading right now, right? So like this week's focus is going to be on my book of the month books, or for the next little bit, just to get them all kind of done and ready to go, or just, I don't know, I just want to read my book of the month books, and then we're gonna go on maybe reading Red Rising. I'm not too sure, maybe. I keep wanting to read all like the Holly Hazelwood books, or just like one of them, just to see how it works. But I mean, the last book that I read was a thriller. That was a serious page turner, and I recently liked reading like the robot type stories, so Annie Bot might be the next one I read. I don't know. All I know is that I want to focus on my book of the month books and get caught up to date with those, right? That'll be just in time to get my April's book of the month book, which I think will be kind of fantastic in that regard. But yeah, so thumbs up to it. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm gonna like Heartless Hunter a lot, right? Because it's kind of like witch trials and just witches fantasy, that kind of a thing. So can't complain. All right. Bye. Hello and welcome to this reading debate. I have read it about 80 pages into Heartless Hunter, and it's really fantastic because one of the things is that we have been introduced to like the moth, and or like the moth, which is like the witch, and we have introduced to like the moth hunter, and with that, it's just that the moth hunter, they both kind of like each other. Like he likes her more than she likes him right now, but she knows that she has to hide it from him. But he like has like ruled her out, like she can't be this moth, right? Because of the fact of just certain things that have happened. So he's just like, no, it can't be her. So it's kind of like nice to see that there's like a bit of a budding romance. Well, I don't want to say that yet, but I know there is, and that he's already kind of like ruled her out. So that's kind of neat and kind of great. So I like about that. And I have stayed rather busy today with my with my website, E.S.Jennette.com, and have batched a bunch of content for that. And I already have my April community calendar already and scheduled to go up for April 1st, which is really nice. And I've also started on May's. Now, what I've learned in the past with these community calendars is that you kind of have to wait till closer to when that month is coming out, just so that way you have I can add more to it, what's happening in the community, because not everything, more things get added closer to that month. So I don't want to put it up, schedule it yet, because I know that there's going to be more community events. And that one of the things I didn't really know that there was going to be is that well, in the summer the market is offering more yoga services, or you can go and do some yoga. So I guess that would be kind of great and kind of do. It's not something I would participate in, but it is something. And that there is going to be a quartet playing. There are lots of different plays and everything that are going to be happening, but I don't know, I don't, as much as I do the theater, stage theater productions, I don't really go as much as I would like to, but that is something I should consider, right? But there's that, and yeah, right? And you may hear the construction going on outside. What's happening is that one of the building scaffolds, or the tower, is coming down now. We've been waiting a couple of days because our road's been closed off just to get that down, and I'm so happy it's happening, but I can't really watch it per se because I do work at the library tonight, and the library is going to be a lot of fun, I think, because it always is. But I'm kind of hoping that it'll be a bit of a quiet night, especially because of the weather. I mean, it's the end of we're getting the middle of March, and we have a snow squall warning, so that kind of sucks, right? But it is what it is. You can't I don't control the weather, and if I did, it would be a lot nicer out, and we wouldn't have snow in the middle of March. But that's one of the things in which I have kind of realized that I think that our winter or seasons have changed. Instead of getting snow between November and it start clearing up by the end of February, we're now getting our winters are kind of end of December to end of March, so that kind of sucks. We still have our snow tires on the car because next weekend is Easter, and we're probably going to be getting a lot more snow next week, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And I mean, and another thing is I'm happy that I'm getting a lot of batching done for my website, but I was hoping I'd get a lot more reading done this week than what I have, and I don't think I've actually completed reading a book yet, which means that I need to get on Heartless Hunter so I can actually have read something this week, right? But it's nice that I can be really productive in other ways. You know what I mean? At least I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. But, whatever. But, thumbs up to a productive day. When I get back from the library, I'm hoping that I can read more of Heartless Hunter. So, yay! Alright, bye! Alright, and welcome to another reading dip. So, I was working at the library tonight, and as you can see, I have more books that I picked up from the library. So the first one is the Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters graphic novel. I was going to put this away, but then I was no, I haven't read this graphic novel yet, so I was why not, just pick it up. And then if you remember last week, Dune, House of Harkonnen, Volume 2. Now, what happened with last week was that somebody had put this book on Volume 1 on a hold, but then they realized that they didn't want it anymore, and that it was for a different location, so it was just gonna go back. But then I was no, why not? I just finished the series and or the first book, and I was well, I want to read it. So Volume 2 was miscarded. This is an adult graphic novel, and it was put into the junior graphic novel. So I was well, the universe is telling me that I want to read Volume 2. So I'm not too sure how many volumes there are, so I'm going to look that up. But yeah, here we go, got Volume 2. And then the last one I decided to pick up is Wonderstruck by Mr. Selznick, what's his first name? Yeah, Brian Selznick. Right, so he wrote the Hugo, the invention of Hugo Cabret, which I read last month, and it's kind of like a graphic novel, but kind of not, and there's like these written like parts and mixed in, so I figured, and this one's all about kind of like museums and why they got there and why museums are fantastic, so I figured, why not give it another go, because I read like Hugo in like less than 2 hours, or maybe even an hour, so I figured that why not, right? Even though I have other books I want to read, like the Hunter book, but and all these books on this TBR thing, but I was like, why not? Here's a little bit of light reading for tonight, right? So thumbs up to that, and I can return these all on, on Saturday when I go to volunteer, so, you know, BookUnhaul, library BookUnhaul. So yay! I will have at least 3 books or 3 graphic novels that I've read this week, which is great, and hopefully 1 novel. You know, but anything helps, right? Thumbs up to that. Alright, bye! Alright, welcome to another reading Dippet. So I've now finished 2 of my graphic novels. So I've finished Dune, House of Harkonnen, Volume 2, and I looked it up, and there's actually 3 of them, but the library does not have the 3rd one, which is fine. I mean, when I'm there again, either on Monday or Saturday, whenever, I can go up and like look for it just to be sure. But I thought it was alright. I liked it more. When they were kind of like on the Dune planet, there is more action in this one, but it was still alright, I guess. Like, I mean, like, if you're really into graphic novels and I think I was like more into Dune, I might have enjoyed it more, but it was alright, right? And I think then with the Sea of Monsters, I think the thing. Oh my gosh, I think the same thing about what the first one, and that it's like a bit rushed, like kind of like the main points are there, but it's just, I don't know, like it's just, might as well just read the book. It's far more involved. It's kind of like the graphic novel just kind of starts, Percy's at home, then he goes to camp, then they're on the boat, and then all of a sudden, like Thor's daughter, who comes out from the tree, oh my gosh, what is her name? Yeah, Thalia. Thalia is there. Right? So it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, here it is. So, I mean, it was alright, I guess. But I don't know. So for me. Right? But I'm happy that I picked it up and they kind of happenstanced into my life tonight. So, I mean, time well wasted, I guess. Alright, bye! Hello, and welcome to another Dippet, or reading Dippet. And so I was at the library, and I decided to get 2 more graphic novels, Percy Jackson, Olympians, and the Titan's Curse, and the Labyrinth. The last Olympian wasn't in, but I got it on hold, so that'll come into the library next week, which is super fun, so that way I can say I've read all 5. And I've decided with my reading goals now, is that reading graphic novels is great, but I think I need to focus more on books. So even if it's just, even like reading, like there was a Brian Selznick books or just whatever, but my TBR shelves, which you see behind, I think is more kind of like what I want to be focusing on, so instead of like, oh, I read like so many graphic novels this week in 1 book, I just want to say focus on reading 1 book a week, and maybe doing an audiobook. And the part of it is that I have an e-reader, and I want to read my e-reader more, use that more, because it's great, and it's kind of like one of those things, because I've done another book haul, and I could have been reading all these books on my e-reader, but here we go. So that's just kind of like where I'm at. I am going to read the Percy Jackson graphic novels and Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick, but I think other than that, I'm going to hold off on my library books or borrowing and just kind of focus on physical books, my TBR, right, and my e-reader, which I think is a good goal, and just kind of focus on reading one book a week and getting back into like that flow, so that way I know that I can actually read a book a week, and some of the books I have here are rather small, so I know that I can read them in a week. So it's just kind of it, right? My plans, where I'm gonna go, but thumbs up, right? But I'll update you on the graphic novels and let you know. Alright, bye! Welcome to this reading Dippet. So I have just finished reading the graphic novels of The Titan's Curse and The Battle of the Labyrinth. The Battle of the Labyrinth was my favorite book, but both of them were just kind of like quick, straight to the point. They didn't really go into much detail. The fight in The Battle of the Labyrinth was a lot better than The Titan's Curse. This one was just like more suspenseful, and it was just more about Percy coming into his power as like a water demigod, you know, being Poseidon's son. But I think the Battle of the Labyrinth is more kind of like of wits, and I felt it was more action-packed. But it's just because I'm just a little bit biased, because that's like my favorite book of the series, and I am happy that I picked these up from the library. I wasn't going to right away, but then, you know, I did, and I can't wait to next week when the last Olympian actually comes in, and I can read that one, and that way I can say I have read all of the graphic novels that go with Percy Jackson. I would recommend them if you're not really into the series, but you want something quick that's not the books. Definitely would recommend the graphic novels. Thumbs up. Alright, bye. Hello and welcome to today's reading Dippet, and that I have just finished Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick, and it was really good. And you get kind of two different stories, one through pictures and one through words, and then you end up finding out how they intertwine. And Wonderstruck has to do with a kind of like the museum book, or just a catalog of what's there at the American Natural History Museum. And it's really cute, and I just like a lot of pictures in it. There's a lot of words, and just, I don't know, the artwork is just really well done, and just how the stories come together is fantastic. I would highly suggest it. It does make me want to read more by Brian Selznick, so maybe next week when I'm at the library we'll pick up more. I think if I were to own any of his books, the only one I would want to own is The Adventure of Hugo Cabret, but in a much like kind of wider, bigger format, so I got to look at the pictures a little bit better. But honestly, Wonderstruck was really well done. I really liked it, and they're like really cute books that you can read within the hour, so thumbs up to that, right? But it was really good. I'm happy that I borrowed it from the library, right? So, woohoo! Alright, thank you. Bye. Hello and welcome to this reading Dippet and the end of this week's vlog. I have no new updates for you because I really didn't read anything on Friday and Saturday. I do plan to read for the majority of today, but that being said, I'm just going to be reading Heartless Hunter. That's just kind of it for me, I think. But that's just like all I have going on the docket, and I am still considering what I'm going to be doing with graphic novels. I didn't see any at the bookstore that I really wanted to be reading, but that's okay, because I guess I didn't want to pick up like a graphic novel and then read it and then just end up giving it away. But there was a cute little one like meant for like juniors that was called like Making Friends, which I thought would be super cute, but I also thought that I could probably get that one from the library, so just borrow it and then give it back. So that was kind of it. And I also took back some books that I had from the central location, so that was always fun to get rid of those, or maybe not to get rid of them, but give them back, I guess. And it's always nice to get rid of things, to have, like, you know, even though they weren't taking up that much space, but it's just, they're out of the house, and I now need to know that it's fine, and it'll be okay, right? Anyways, thumbs up. Hopefully everybody has a great week, and that this will be the end of the snow, and that today will be the last cold day that we'll ever have, right? Well, for this season particularly. Man, it's just spring and it's like -8, feels like -10. But at least the sun yesterday got rid of most of the snow, right? But I guess another exciting thing is that I got my hair colored. Woohoo! So, you know, new style, new cut, new me, just really fantastic way to kind of get a fresh start with new hair, right? But anyways, thumbs up. Hopefully everybody's doing alright, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye!